Hands Off My Podcast is a proud member of Darkcast Network, where the light shines brightest on our indie podcasts. Hola, my beautiful humans. This is Jasmine Castillo.
And this is MW.
Bringing awareness of murdered and missing Indigenous women, girls, two-spirits, the LGBTQ community, Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander, Black Indigenous people of color. These are their stories. So, welcome to Hands Off My Podcast. This is a request from one of my littlest podcast fans. My 10-year-old son, Pharaoh, requested me to do a spot on Dekota Meeks because he felt in his heart that Dekota's information needed to be heard. He has sat beside me for many hours on my research of cases for my future episodes. And as I scrolled through National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, also acronym NCMEC, he said, "I feel like you need to talk about him, Mom. I love this kid. So, Pharaoh, this is your request. Let's talk about the disappearance of Dekota Meeks." So as I mentioned before, I was scrolling through NCMEC, and it was very interesting that, in fact, there was no media, no articles of him missing, or even in NamUs, which is the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System. The only places that I could find any information about him is through Web Sleuth website and the NCMEC. Dekota Meeks has been missing since September 11th, 2022, from Webster Groves, Missouri. Webster Groves is approximately 2 miles west of St. Louis city limits, and based on Webster Groves' website, their area has a diverse and global restaurants and a hub of boutiques and home decor shops. They are close to the Webster University, the Repertory Theater of St. Louis stages, Shakespeare, and modern drama. The current population as of 2020 is over 24,000 residences. Now, based on a search that I did through YouTube as well, there has been a possible mishap in regards to not utilizing the Amber Alert. A little background on the Amber Alert system and how it began. Back in 1996, when DFW broadcasters teamed with local police to develop an early warning system to help find abducted children. AMBER was actually an acronym, but also there's a background story in regards to how it was created. AMBER stands for America's Missing Broadcast Emergency Response, and it was actually created as a legacy to a 9-year-old Amber Hagerman, who was kidnapped while riding her bicycle in Arlington, Texas, and then brutally murdered. Now, Arlington is literally about a 45-minute drive from where I'm located. And so other states and communities soon set up their own Amber plans as the idea was adopted across the nation. And because of this concern from a YouTube video that I reviewed, that there might have been a mishap in regards to the Amber Alert scenario. So I dug a little deeper in regards to some of the questions and answers that I wanted to go through for other people to understand what might have happened in Dekota's situation. And one of the questions that I had thought of is what happens when a child doesn't meet the Amber Alert criteria? Whenever an Amber Alert request does not meet activation criteria, requesting agencies are referred to other state police investigative resources and to the Missing Persons Clearinghouse, which is also MPC, for possible issuance. Yet I didn't seem to find any information about Dekota under the State Patrol, which would be where his information would be if he didn't fit the Amber Alert criteria. What is considered a criteria to utilize Amber Alerts? And one of the things that they identified under the Endangered Person Advisory, which was solely initiated by Missouri law enforcement agencies, they used these criterias. If the circumstances fail to meet the criteria for an Amber Alert, if the person missing under unexplained, involuntary, or suspicious circumstances, if this person is believed to be in danger because of age, health, mental or physical disability, environment or weather conditions, in the company of potentially dangerous person, or some other factor that may put the person in peril, and if there is information that could assist the public in the safe recovery of the missing person. Sadly, under this particular emergency alert, I did not find his information. Another question is, can overusing Amber Alerts result in the public becoming desensitized? Yes and no. From an article by CNN, a South Carolina official was quoted to speak on this subject. In the state of South Carolina, more than 3,500 cases of missing children were reported in 2019. Only one was considered an Amber Alert. And he broke it down to even this. Quote, if they did not meet the criteria and did it on a reporting missing child, when he did the math, it averaged 12 notifications a day. Yet, if a child doesn't meet the criteria for Amber Alert, there is still law enforcement that do recognize the need to act swiftly and help recover any missing child. Sometimes when a child goes missing, there are no witnesses to the disappearance. However, there is a reason to believe that the child is in danger, and so the Department of Justice actually launched an initiative to train Child Abduction Response Team, which also goes by the acronym CART, C-A-R-T, nationwide, which is designed to assist local law enforcement agencies when they respond to incidents of missing and abducted children. And unfortunately, all this to say, where was the break in this emergency alert program? Dekota Meeks is still missing. Dekota Meeks is a black male. He has brown hair, brown eyes, and stands at 5 feet 10 inches, weighing at 135 pounds. If you see something, say something. Please contact Webster Groves Police Department, Missouri at 314-963-5402 or contact National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. If you're as flustered as I am in regards to this Amber Alert system and how they identify a child, whether they are credible or fall under a particular criteria to even utilize the Amber Alert, and you feel like there should be some type of change in standardizing this particular system, I do have a change.org petition that was created by a YouTube creator, Thomas McCauley, who also sees the inconsistencies between state to state, from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. And Thomas is absolutely correct. There are too many children that are left voiceless without any alert, and these criteria need to be changed. I will go ahead and place the petition in the show notes. It is time that all children get a voice. And Pharaoh, thank you for your request. You show so much compassion and the urgency as much as I see it. I love you so much. Te amo. Thank you for listening to Hands Off My Podcast. If you are enjoying the podcast and you'd like to support the mission, I do have a Patreon membership that will help the cause and bring more detail on cases and stories from the people of color community. If you yourself has a lost loved one or a story suggestion, please don't hesitate to contact me at email handsoffmypodcast@gmail.com. And if you are only able to support in another way, please give this podcast a 5-star rating on Apple or Spotify and continue to listen to upcoming episodes every Thursday, wherever you listen to your podcast. Dios te bendiga.